And we agree with that.
Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Foreign Affairs about China. Just last week, his predecessor, David Emerson, who's now in the private sector, was enormously critical of the government for its failure to engage on China, for its failure to pay attention to the importance of this relationship, and for allowing a few ideological enthusiasts to take over Canada's China policy. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask the Minister, why has he allowed this to happen on his watch?
The Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs.
I'm actually very pleased, Mr. Speaker, to be able to respond to that question. As a matter of fact, we've been extremely active on that file. Contrary to what my colleagues saying, we've had the opportunity, I personally had the opportunity of meeting with the Foreign Affairs Minister. Colleagues of mine have traveled to China. My colleague, the Minister of International Trade, intends to go there very shortly. We will be indeed, Mr. Speaker, not only increasing our presence in China, but we will also be increasing our presence in Asia. Thank you.
Honourable Member for Toronto Centre.
Mr. Speaker, every Prime Minister since John Diefenbaker has taken a... I knew Mr. Diefenbaker, Mr. Speaker. None of them are John Diefenbaker. Let me tell you this right now. Has engaged with China, and has paid attention to this relationship. This is the first Prime Minister we've had who is not engaged with China and who's not dealing with this relationship. Mr. Speaker, the President of China, is going to be president of the conference of the G20 that's taking place in London. Does the Prime Minister not realize and the Minister not realize how serious a mistake this is with respect to building that relationship?
Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs.
And since, Mr. Speaker, I still have a little more time to be able to talk about what we're doing with China, my colleague will be able to open up 6 new trade offices in China very shortly. Therefore, as well, Mr. Speaker, we all recall here that in this House, we were able to secure $2 billion in terms of making sure that the Asia-Pacific Gateway open up the doors to new trade with China and to Asia. We're getting the job done, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member for Dufferin.